Win big with new DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code ONEFREEPP for a free single card today.
Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look at race number 7 at Keeneland on Saturday. We're kicking off a 50-cent pick 4 with the Grade 2 Thoroughbred Club of America. Potentially a prep for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. We're going 3/4 of a mile. Before we take a look at the field, however, check out this deal for DRFTV viewers. 10% off all DRF past performances. Please use the coupon code DRFTV10. Shop now with the QR code. Here's the field for the Thoroughbred Club of America. We've got 7 in here, including the number 3 Brightwork, Mike, who is already a Grade 1 stakes winner. She won the spin away at 7 furlongs, and she's unbeaten sprinting.
Yeah, it just seems like they figured out that she doesn't really want to stretch out, Dan. Just, belated 3-year-old debut up at Saratoga towards the end of the meet last time, but she looked ready off the layoff and looked good winning.
Really good tactical speed as well as she now steps up to face older horses for the first time. Let's see where our friends at Timeform US have the number 3 Brightwork placed after the opening quarter mile, and they have her pretty far back. And I'm not really that surprised because the 4 Spirit Wind is a fast horse, as is the 1 Clearly Unhinged. They were the pace protagonists in the Honorable Miss 2 starts back and in the Pink Ribbon last time out, going 2 turns at Charlestown.
Yeah, true. We'll see how it all plays out here as far as the pace goes. To me, that's maybe the most important thing for the 4 Spirit Wind, because it just feels like if she doesn't make the lead in her races, she's just not quite the same horse.
If the pace is hot, you might want to keep an eye on the number 6 Zeitlos, who has a strong late kick, as evidenced by the LP flag over her chiclet. That indicates the fastest Timeform US late pace rating. Let's start things off with another Asmussen trainee. That's the number 1 Clearly Unhinged, finishing second in this race. The Pink Ribbon going a 2-turn 7 furlongs at Charlestown. She stayed close to a fast pace. Mike, she made the lead, and she just gets run down late by a pretty solid filly.
Yeah, she ran fine in here. Nothing wrong with this performance. It's a 2-turn 7 furlongs. The horse that winds up getting her had, I think, placed in a couple of Grade 1s earlier this year. She's won like 20 times or something. She's just a really nice horse. This horse ran fine in there. I don't know, Dan. I was sort of waiting for a breakthrough from this filly at some point this year. I'm not necessarily sure that I've seen it yet. I can't say that I love either of her 2 most recent races, but she's fine.
I was expecting more on the Honorable Miss 2 starts back. I know she was wired by Spirit Wind, but didn't it look like she was just cruising, turning into the stretch, waiting to get off the rail? And then when Joel asked her for some run, she was a little bit flat, but she does have some speed and should get into good position early. Johnny Velasquez rides the 2 Anywho, who's been taking on some really tough company out in Southern California. Sweet Azteca is the leading West Coast contender for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, and she's really, really good. Anywho traced this one in vain last time out, and I think is going to really appreciate the class relief.
I agree. Obviously, it's going to be good for her to get away from Sweet Azteca, although it's not like she ran great in either one of those starts behind her. And then, listen, if you want to give her a pass for those, fine. Then you got to go back to what she did prior to that, Dan. I mean, I don't know, man. I couldn't really see the race that made me feel like I want to be betting her in a graded stakes race. Even though this isn't the strongest field in the world, I don't see the race that makes me want to bet her in.
Maybe if the track comes up wet, you can move her up, because she had that big win at Churchill Downs over a sloppy track. She didn't change leads last time out against Sweet Aztec, and that probably cost her the place to the late closer Kismosa. Brightwork started her career with 4 consecutive wins sprinting, including the Grade 1 spin away. They tried to stretch her out a couple of times, then they gave her a break. She came back and showed no rust in the Grade 3 Prioress. Let's watch that race going 3/4 of a mile. Brightwork sat just off the lead, is on the attack on the turn, makes the lead, and is very game, because this horse on the rail really is not quitting Too Sharp at odds on.
Yeah, Too Sharp was 4-5 in here. It's worth pointing out that Too Sharp only had 2 starts behind her. She was off a maiden win in here, but a really fast maiden win that made her go favorite in this race. I just loved everything about the performance from Brightwork off the long layoff. Then she kept up close. She sort of started pressing that horse around the turn, and I just thought she was much the best at the end. Really nice return. She's clearly a sprinter, and it looks like a pretty good spot for her.
Safi Joseph trains the number 4 Spirit Win, the gate to wire winner of the Honorable Miss, 2 starts back, beating clearly Unhinged. They tried her in the pink ribbon last time out, going the 2-turn 7, and she showed speed, and maybe that 2-turn configuration just doesn't work out for her at all. I'm willing to give her a little bit of an excuse, but she wasn't good.
She wasn't good last time, but I'm with you. I mean, I feel like if you wanted to be lenient, it's kind of easy to do that. Fast paced 2 turns, whatever. I'm okay with not being too hard on her for that one. She has the honorable miss when 2 starts back. That's not a performance that, inspires a ton of confidence in me personally, just because for some reason, everybody just took a hold in that race and let her get loose on a really slow pace. For a 6 furlong graded stakes race at Saratoga, she was walking. And she just wound up hanging on at the end there. The closers were coming too late. So I'm not thrilled with that race. And then, as mentioned before, I feel like she needs the lead, Dan. Did she win 3 starts back from just off the pace? Yeah. But that was a totally overmatched field of horses where she would have to fall down to lose to them. So I don't know, man. I'm not totally sold on her. I didn't think she was going to be a great price in here.
Run for the Hills, the number 5, has spent most of her career racing on turf and synthetic, and she got a win in an off-turf race at Saratoga that might have, showed Mark Casse maybe this one can run on the dirt a little bit. And they tried the Open Mind last time out. She went very quick on the lead, going 6.5 furlongs. She opened up a clear lead in the stretch, and then Zeitlos ran right over the top of her. I still think she has a lot to prove on dirt, especially with other speeds in here.
Yeah, I look at her the same way. I mean, did she go too fast on the lead last time? I think there's an argument to be made that she did. I mean, she did go a really solid pace in there. She was, clearly tired in the stretch of that race, but it's still hard to get behind her in here because there's plenty of other speed to have to deal with again.
Don't want to give Zeitlos short shrift. She's won 6 of her last 7 starts on dirt, including her most recent race, the Open Mind. That was a race where she didn't break very well, but that actually might have worked for her because the pace was very fast. She sort of just hung out by herself at the back, and then she came with a good, strong run to win. She's yet to run a fast race on fast dirt. Her 2 big buyers have come on wet going, but she's going to be kicking in the stretch.
Yeah, she's pretty good. I just, more than anything else, I just really appreciate the way Asmussen's handled her. He's just sort of let her find her way. She started getting good earlier this year, and they sort of steadily moved her up in class. I'm still not sure what the turf race at Saratoga was all about. But they got back to dirt with her last time. She ran fine into a really good setup, though.
Red Carpet Ready, the number 7, was a good 2-year-old, and that form continued into her 2023 season and continued into her first start this year as a 4-year-old, where she won the Hurricane Birdie. She then ran fine in the Madison right here at Keeneland, a grade 1 race against the likes of Alva Star and Vava. Vava's a major contender in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. She didn't run well in the Derby Distaff. They gave her a break. What do you make of them running her on turf twice off the layoff?
Yeah, twice maybe was a bit much, although I guess she ran well enough in the first of those that you wanted to give her a shot at that big purse at Kentucky Downs just to see what would happen. And it's not like she doesn't have, a really versatile pedigree. So, I'm not shocked by it. I'm also not shocked that they're returning to dirt with her now. There are some questions, I guess, surrounding her current form, but to me, she's clearly good enough to beat this field with her good race, and she might be a fair price.
I think she could work out a pretty good trip, stalking outside and in the clear of traffic. Let's take a look at our top picks for the Thoroughbred Club of America, kicking off a 50-cent pick 4. Brightwork just looked good last time out. She's unbeaten sprinting, and I think she can work out a trip. I think she's adaptable to any kind of pace scenario.
I do too. I just thought she would get the right trip in here. I liked her return from the layoff last time. One more forward move sort of puts her right there with these horses. I'm not really afraid of anybody else in here.
Mike's going 3-1-6-7. I'm going to try to get the California Invader, Anywho, who's getting away from Sweet Azteca, into the number 3-2-6-4 for me. It's the grade 2 Thoroughbred Club of America. It's the 7th on a loaded Saturday card at Keeneland. Best of luck. Hey, let me give you a hot tip. If you liked the content that you've seen before, click on the like and subscribe button right here. And of course, for more DRF videos like Race of the Days, stakes previews, click on the videos right here.